Hi there, Richard Matharu here. Now, if you're a network marketer, you've probably faced the dilemma of which is the best way to brand yourself. If you haven't, you will do soon. It's a necessity in 2020 and beyond. Should you go for a personal brand, something like yourname.com? Or should you pick a company name, such as, say, networkmarketingcoach.com or networkmarketingleader.com, and then build that? There is a right and a wrong answer, I believe, depending on your individual circumstances. And what I'm going to do for you is, I'm going to go through the pros and cons of both, which is most suitable for you, what the true essence of branding is, and everything else that's going to make a big difference to you and your business. Let's give you a clear and confident decision by the end of this video so you can put some time and effort into something that you will know will be the right decision and reap the rewards of generating leads easier, building a team better, getting a strong, secure business, which is what the correct branding can do for you. So let's just dive straight in. You didn't come here to chit chat, neither did I. Let me teach you something useful. So either way you look at it, branding is essential, okay? And what is branding? Let's start with that. If I ask you what is branding, what would you say? I've asked this question, branding, many times, and here's the answers I tend to get. What is the logo? What is the tagline? What is the social, let's put SM, social media, like theme almost, the cover photos, the profile, I've even had the filter you're going to use on Instagram and all that kind of crap. So the thing is, these are teeny weeny tiny cogs in a huge mechanism that aren't even really needed that much. See, the true essence of branding is what do people feel, think and say when they see your name. So they see your name, and because they're aware of you, what do they feel? What do they think? What do they say if someone asks you to describe them? Think about that for yourself right now in terms of how effective you are truly at branding. Because you may watch this video and go, I'll watch the guy for a few minutes, but man, I already know how to brand myself. I have heard this a million times. You probably heard all the other crap a million times. Here's how to pick the right color logo and all that kind of stuff. You've probably never even been mentioned this before. So if I was to go look at your LinkedIn, if I was to look at your website, if you've got one, which you should, if I was to have a conversation with you, if I was to speak to other people, if I was to look at anything you're putting out there into the world that you hope to make a difference in your business, what would I feel, think, and say about those things? Because I tell you what happens for a lot of you. Well, I'm branding myself, Richard, I really am. Are you? Because I go over to LinkedIn, and in your bio, you're talking about being a small business coach. And then I hop over to Twitter and you're telling me that you're trading Forex. And then I go over to Facebook and you're trying to be the family man. And then I go over to Instagram and you're trying to look like you're pretty much single. And the message in all of them, in the content on a Monday, you're telling me you're going to coach me on this, that and the other. On a Tuesday, you tell me how bad the industry is. And I'm like, you don't have no brand. Your pictures may be the same on every platform, but everything else that matters is completely mismatched. You don't really know who you're serving and what you're trying to do for them. See, if you truly had a brand, you would know which group of people you're aiming everything you do at, and you would know the problem you're trying to solve or the result you're trying to bring them. I know when I step in front of this camera, when I do a podcast, when I have a conversation, if we met face to face, I would know the second you mention network marketing, I would know the same answers to the questions no matter who asked them. Because I'm not trying to steer you into my company or anything like that. I'm trying to give you the best advice that makes a sense for you. And I know what my message is, and it's concrete. You need to have that conviction and confidence in what you bring to the table when it comes to branding. So that's the true essence of branding. We do that with our content, with our conversations, with what we post on social media, everything. People are judging you and saying, do I want to like, follow, and share in this person's project, okay? So we know what branding is now, okay? So should it be personal or company? Either way, 100%, you must do one. You must brand. You know why? Look at what's happening in the industry. Last year we saw something happen to Advocare where they basically removed all their multiple levels of compensation. If you were in that company, you built a large income, you lost pretty much all of it overnight. Nothing you can do about it because you and I don't own the MLM. The owners of the MLM own it, right? It's up to them what happens and the shareholders. Anyone can come to any representative and say, we don't want you to be a part of the company anymore. They can tell you how you can market, how you can't market. They're so frightened of breaking rules these days that the noose is getting tighter, and a lot of flexibility that used to happen for you to market the way you want to be and be a true entrepreneur. There is closures happening. There are companies changing their products, changing direction, selling to different owners, removing products that the reason why you're there. You don't control any of that stuff. I would not be doing my job correctly as someone who is raising the level in our industry and teaching you how to build in a professional way and a predictable way if I wasn't to put you in control of your financial strings. Why would you want to have somebody else pulling the purse strings, relying your family on all of that? You wouldn't. So when you have a brand, it is you that is putting yourself before anybody else. But Richard, I can hear some of you, and I can hear some of the uplines now going, oh my God, I'm panicking. Like, I don't want to tell my team that. And my upline tells me, no, focus 100% on MLM until you get through the ranks. Listen, network marketing is a difficult game. And I'm not saying you quit. I love network marketing. But if you want to play the long game, you build yourself. You build a company or your name that you own. So that no matter what happens, no matter what they're chopping and changing, you still get to pull up a seat and eat at the table. Do you see what I'm saying to you here? I'm trying to give you some good advice here. I'm not your upline. I'm not your company. I'm not going to make you do woohoo, the conger in the aisle and try and sell you the next event ticket or get you to sponsor people into my downline. I'm here to tell you everything that I do, what works best for you. And that is to put yourself first, always, when it comes to business. So that being said, personal versus company, now we accept what branding is and that we must do it. So personal, let's first look at that. So personal would be, if like for example, richardmatheru.com. It's me, my face, my name. Okay, there are certain advantages and disadvantages to that. Let me go through them with you. So if it's an individual, right? I put on some weight. My head shrunk, I lost my face, and I put on some weight. It's been a tough year. So that's me. That's my website. Let's say rm.com. And this could easily be you if you decide to pick your own name and go the personal branding route from American Friends. Now, it's so much easier for me to build rapport and trust with you as an individual as it would be a faceless corporation. Can you see that? If I said, we help you with this, that, and the other, and it wasn't really me doing it, it was, you see this kind of videos where it's just like explainer videos, no one's really voicing it, no one's really a standout character. There is all sorts of questions that get raised in the mind of the prospect. Is there someone that will help me? Who can I relate to? Like there's these questions that need to be answered when it's a company name that are harder to accomplish. When someone can just say, oh, I like this guy or I like this girl, I know them, okay, that's their story, I believe them, let me do this. It's a simpler process, do you see that? So in terms of the speed in which you can establish any brand, a personal brand is going to be quicker in terms of how you can establish that, okay? Also with a personal brand, if you are earning less than 10K per month, if you are below 10K per month, I would suggest a personal brand because you probably haven't really found the concrete direction that you wish to take. Think about it. When you're not making that much money, it's shiny object syndrome kicks in. Oh, maybe I'd be better in that direction. Maybe I'd be better doing this. Maybe I'd be better doing that. Who's to say what you're now thinking about beginning to brand yourself with via your name won't change? You may be already been in multiple companies, multiple opportunities, multiple business models. How's that going to work if you are suddenly deciding that you want to build a coaching business for network marketers when you've built a company name, juicyjuice.com, because you're selling health and wellness products? You can't. You have to start from scratch, lose all that work. This happened to me. I'll give you an example to hopefully remind you of this if you're ever thinking in this situation in the future. When I first started my website, I owned a gym. I came from a small business background. So I'm like, okay, my website, I'm going to do my best to try and recruit small business owners. So I'll educate the small business owner about network marketing. They'll get interested. They'll want to join me. That was my business model at the time. Now, what I found was that small business owners were actually pretty close-minded. All they were interested in is how can I build my small business better as opposed to jump on another business? Can you teach me that? And I'm like, well, no, I want you to kind of join my business. But what happened is, after 5 months, I went full time. I had 328, let me rub some of this out. I had 328 no's in a row when I first started in network marketing. Everyone I knew told me to do one, right? So I had 328 meetings and they were all no's. No, Richard. right? It hurts, doesn't it? But it happened. It is what it is. 328 no's. And then 5 months later, I was the 5th, I believe, best recruiter at the time. I went on to become the #1 international income earner. So REC for recruiter. And I'm on incentives. And I'm rank advancing, and people are becoming aware of me. Guess what happened at this point? I got a whole bunch of network marketers and NWMs coming to me in my inbox and saying, Richard, like, you were terrible at this. Like me, now you're the 5th best recruiter in the company. I saw you just qualified for a cruise. I saw you rank advancing again. How did you get from here to here? I want to know. So I'm getting more and more of these conversations, and I can teach you, and I'm getting nobody like tumbleweeds from small business. So I'm like, why am I trying to flog this dead horse as opposed, I shouldn't say that, I'm a vegetarian. You know, it's a saying, right? There's no point flogging a red dead horse, it's never going to run. Why am I doing this when I've got all this captive audience that actually wants to know what I want to teach them and actually is interested? Let me switch richardmathew.com to serve the network marketing community. I couldn't do that if it wasn't for the fact that I'd done a personal brand and I hadn't named it something like, small business MLM or something like that, right? So it gives you flexibility, and if I hadn't have been doing that, I don't think I would have made the transition to network marketers. I would have felt obliged and like, oh, it's too much effort, and I would have had to have stuck with small business. Goodness knows what my life would have been like. If you followed me for any length of time, you'll have seen the speed in which I've been able to grow this business, and that's because I've been able to focus on the people that actually wanted to hear from me and I can deliver value to, right? So don't position yourself in that position, okay? Now let's look at company. So we've covered the advantages of personal. Now let's look at the advantages of company, picking a company name. The major advantage for me is it allows you to scale easier. Think about this, if you go to a website, let's say you set up a website and you want to offer coaching. You're going to be a coach for small business owners, and when you're coaching them, some of them may be interested in a network marketing business as well. So you're building your coaching income through your brand, and you're also filling your team full of strong people as well. Now, if someone is on your website, following your content, and they're seeing your name, and they're looking and saying, okay, there's a coaching product here, who are they expecting to get coached by? Who are they expecting to speak to about whether they want to purchase the coaching? It's you, right? Your name, your videos, your voice, your everything. Now, how are you then going to put someone on the phone with a sales rep or bring them into a coaching package that has got other people involved? It's harder to do. They're like, man, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. So straight away, you kind of knock down their level of, whole hope really of them saying yes to you. So it harms the business. But if you have a company name and you employ a couple of people, even if they're just virtual assistants or whatever it may be, and you can introduce them as the company, then you are able to allocate different resources to different people, different roles, right? Hey, this is our phone guy, and build him up and talk about his results and all the rest of it, or her results, right? And now they don't mind that person on the phone. They know they've got to go through that person to get to you. It just feels weird if you're watching someone for 6 months and they're like, come in here, and they bring some random person and say, this is the phone guy. It just doesn't make sense, does it, right? But if it's a company and there's a team and it feels like that from the start, can you see how that will be like, oh yeah, that fits it, it makes sense. So it allows you to scale quicker because you can bring other people in, and also because there's less reliance on you. They're expecting your voice, your name, your everything if it's personal. But if it's company, again, you can outsource certain aspects of what you do easier and no one's really going to flinch. So it allows you to have less reliance and more flexibility on that. Also, it gives you an exit strategy that isn't available to the personal brand. Some of you are thinking way too small. If I could just make a couple of grand a month. Come on, shame on you. Look at the world that we live in. It's full of opportunity if you do the right things. Why would you not want to make as much money as possible? Oh, it's greedy. No, it's not. Whoever told you that was stupid and poor. If you make as much money as you possibly can without sacrificing the people that are important to you, it gives you more choices. It amplifies who you are. You can give that money to charity and make a big difference. Oh, being rich financially is greedy. Well, tell that to the kids who's in the hospital, and you could buy the machine that could save their life. Like, you can do a lot of really cool stuff, good stuff with money. If I was you, I would want to fulfill as much ambition in that area as possible. And so think bigger. Start to think bigger. Maybe you've been in the position of failure for too long, and now you think that's what you are. Don't let your past deflate your self-worth. Like, I mean, I'm gonna this video for another time. I think a video for another time. But just trust me that things can turn around when you get the right strategy. There's actually 3 things which I'm going to cover on an upcoming video. But you can absolutely become someone who goes from, like I just told you, 328 no's. 5 months later, I'm the 5th best recruiter. I didn't win the lottery. It was proven, professional, predictable strategy that did that. I never had no big MLM team in another company. I never had no rich family. I never had no bunch of money to invest. I never had no special treatment. It was just discovering what works and going to work with it. And that's what I teach you in these videos. So stop thinking so small. See, this exit strategy, the reason I'm telling you that is you may want to sell your company one day, right? You may say, you know what? I want to do this for 10 years. The company's going to be worth a few million. I'll be happy with that. I can make a few $100,000 a year, every year, build it up, and then the company may be worth a couple of million. Great. Like, you're going to be able to probably retire on that if you're smart with your money, right? So it gives you that exit strategy. Now, no one's going to buy a personal branded website. You know, can you imagine someone coming on here, next video, some guy's grown a beard, he's trying to put on a British accent. Hey, it's Richard Matheru, and it's not. You're going to go, what the hell is happening here, right? It just wouldn't work. The value in my personal business is me, what I bring to it. So unless I was going to stay on in that business and say, okay, I'll do the videos for you, I'll do this for you, you can just do the strategy, like, it wouldn't work. With a company name, you can do that. You can start to transition and bring some people in, start to share like allocate the different roles, and then make a transition over, say, a 12-month period when a company, or an individual acquires that company name. Can you see how that gives you an additional exit strategy option? The final thing that relates to both of them, before I give you my advice on the best way forward, is sometimes you have to look at expectancy, right? If your brand offering, have I spelled that right? I'm terrible at spelling. Everything's spell check these days, isn't it? You don't even have to spell anymore. I was a better speller at school. Now you just click a button and everything's corrected. But expectancy, right? If you were wanting to set up a brand that is offering personal one-on-one coaching, you're better off having a personal brand for the reasons I just gave. It makes sense, it fits. If you are going to have a brand that goes into large organizations and consults with them on transforming their team strategy, and then off the back of that you may get some good leads for your network marketing business, they're going to probably expect a company or corporate setup, right? That's just how those worlds operate. So sometimes it isn't about our choice, it's about what does the market dictate. Because it doesn't, in fact, what we want is pretty much irrelevant when it comes to making sales. What really counts is, what do the people need, who you're going to serve? What are their problems? What solutions do they want? Do they believe you? What is a product they need? Those are the things you need to address to be successful with anything, including your branding. So sometimes there's an expectancy. Does that make sense? So now let me give you a strategy. My suggested strategy. You don't have to stick to this. This is just my personal advice. My advice, Richard's advice is start with a personal, unless it's expected to be corporate, like I just said. Most occasions it won't be. So we start with a personal and then build that to 10K per month consistently. You don't have a good 10K month and go back to 2 and go, I hit it. No, consistently, so that you know and I know that you have a plan, a strategy that is working on a regular basis. So when you're getting 10K a month, 10K a month, 10K a month, 10K a month, right? Maybe at least a quarter, at least 3 months in a row, then you're able to now conduct an experiment. You're able to say, okay, I'm making money here. I understand branding a whole lot better. Wouldn't you by the time you get 10 grand a month? I now think to myself about that video that Richard made and about the exit strategy or about building a proper corporation. Man, I'm tempted, I want to do that, I want to try that. So you can now conduct an experiment for 6 to 12 months, depending how patient you are, with a company brand. Now, I would do that alongside your personal brand, which will be a lot of work. Yes, I can hear you go, what, 2 businesses at once? Yes, it will be a lot of work. But you should have found some level of consistency with this. In fact, if you're anything like my business, by the time you reach that point, I was able to start to outsource certain things. I was able to, in my diary, I was able to go forward. I could pre-schedule a lot of my content. I could pre-schedule things and give myself some free time. You will have reached that point too by the time you get to that level of income. Now, the reason I say this to go alongside is because it just makes sense. And I want to do you a little diagram that I saw on someone I follow on YouTube. I was watching his video, Sam's video, and it makes total sense. Sam was saying, imagine you're on a desert island. This is a palm tree. You're stranded. Just you. And there's a pipe, okay? And every day, this pipe spits out the food and the water that you need to survive, because there's nothing else on the island. There's no food, there's no water. You need this pipe to survive. Don't ever piss about with that pipe, right? And that's what some people do when they reach a bit of personal branding. They go, oh, I got this branding game now. Let me just sweep that aside and start something new. They do it with products. They do it with their website. They do it with their business. Something's working. I've got it now. Let me just swap it for something else. And then the thing they swap it for doesn't work. Now where are you? You're on an island with no bloody food or water, and you chose to fill in the pipe. You chose to fill it in. Don't do that. If you want to try your hand at being a pipe maker, what do? You start a new pipe, and then you compare it. Once you've finished it, you compare it to this pipe, and you say, which is most efficient? Which is most secure? Which do I like the food and the water out of the best? And then you decide which pipe to fill in. That's what you do. You don't cut off your lifeline and then say, oh no, this new pipe actually miscalculated, doesn't work. You don't do that. Never do that, okay? And it's the same if you're a network marketer. It's the same analogy. A lot of people say, oh, Richard, I want to go full time like you did quickly. So I'm going to quit my job. I'm like, okay, whoa, hold your horses there, Nelly. How much money are you making? Not that much. Okay, so you have money coming in from a job and you're going to get rid of that to work on a business that you haven't found success in. Yeah, but if I had more time, I'm like, listen, how much are you making right now? I'm not really making anything. So if you do a whole lot more of not making anything, what are you making? Well, I'm not making anything. Exactly. It isn't the time that's the problem. It's the strategy that's the problem, okay? Don't ever do that. Don't ever turn money away that you need. No bueno. Never do that, okay? It's the same with branding. Don't get all cocky and be like, I'm a branding expert. I'm a branding guru. Look at my filter. I'll just sweep it aside. No, that's a big mistake, okay? Have an experiment. After you've got 10K a month, decide which you want to pursue after the 6 or 12 month time period, okay? That would be my advice to you. I put it, don't mess with the food pipe, okay? So that's my advice. Did you get value in this video? I hope this has cleared it up. I want to accomplish... If I accomplish anything for you in this video, it's that you start to pursue and put the wheels in motion to build your own brand. Whether you go personal, whether you go company, you need something that you own. In network marketing, we don't own the business. We can't, there's just no control over it. I'm not going to tell you just so I can get a few more likes on a video what I think you want to hear, okay? I want to teach you how to be a true entrepreneur, how to be a professional, how to apply good, solid, proven business advice to a network marketing business. There's plenty of people out there that will sell you, epoxy scripts until the cows come home. They'll tell you you just got to find more people. You just got to go, look at the waitress again and give her a smile and then take a number and then prospect and do a boss as well and then the petrol attendant guy and it'll work eventually. Like, who wants to build a business on luck? Luck is not a strategy. The last time I checked, like if you go into the lottery and you look at all the numbers that were drawn out in the past 10 years, that still doesn't increase your odds. If you pick the most popular 6 numbers, it makes no damn difference. The next 6 numbers that come out are still random. So just because your upline or their upline or 5 people out of the 5 million in your company happen to prospect the right waiter or the right sales rep or the right real estate guy, they can't teach you something that's luck as though it's predictable. This is the problem I see in our industry. They don't want to teach you this stuff because they're panicking that, oh my goodness, it opens them up to other options. Damn right it does. if you have plenty of money in your pocket, you probably wouldn't quit your network marketing business. If you build a brand and people get to know you, your face, and trust you, that brings more eyes and ears for your network marketing business. If you're an upline watching this video and you're like, oh my goodness, how can I discredit this guy? How can I stop my team seeing this? Shame on you, first and foremost, for being so selfish, and stop being so stupid and short-sighted. Are you in this for the short or the long game? Like, people are always sacrificing long term for the short term. It's micro attention spans these days. If you're watching this, play the long game as an upline. Be the kind of guy or girl that you said you were going to be. Be a true professional. Teach them things, whether you want to share my video or not, I don't care, but make sure that they know this information so they can position themselves for the best in their life, and then they're able to bring more people into your team. Maybe not straight away, but give it a month or 2 or 3 buffer, and then the floodgates will open, as it did for me in my business. And if you are a network marketer, you're not an upline yet, you will be one day. Please remember my words. We want to hold ourselves accountable always. Like, this industry needs an injection of professionalism. It needs an injection of certainty. It needs an injection of people can look at us and go, oh, those guys and girls are true entrepreneurs. Look at the way they now build their business. Look at the way they hold themselves accountable. Look at the way they treat their team members. I can now get on board with this business model. That's how we're going to raise the skill level. That's how we're going to raise professionalism. And that's how you're going to raise your results and everybody else. We all play a part in that. If we're not the solution, we're part of the problem. So I hope you enjoyed that. I might little rant at the end. I don't know where that came from, but I'm a passionate man, especially about this. I've just seen so many improvements in my life from learning things like this, that I want to make sure that you really do take my advice. I'm not here to sell you anything, try and get you into my team. I'm here to teach you how to take care of yourself, take care of your business, and build in a professional, proven, and predictable way. I hope you've got value from that. As I always like to say, go create a day in a life that counts. Always have more desires than excuses. And where would I send you next? If you want to take a look at more of my, it's easy. Just Google my name and take your pick on any resource that you see and you like. Anything I put out there, it's free for you to use in your business. I hope it serves you well, as it has done for me. I'll catch you on the next one if you're a subscriber. Bye for now.